Yeah. So welcome everybody this morning. Hi, Jennifer. Uh, so this is our restorative yoga class, and I'll just show you just to honor that. I'm wearing my favorite baggy sweatpants. I've even got a turtleneck on, and I'm wearing some big warm socks. So you can rest assured that we're not going to be working out or doing anything with strength this morning. Um, However, because a lot of us are um, a little more snowbound or housebound with the cold, um, we will start with a little bit more warming up than we might usually. Um, but the goal of this type of practice is really to rest and to bring everything back to base camp, which can be very challenging, especially the A type, myself included. I like to be moving and active, and it's hard to, really hard to do that. And in large part, it's hard to give permission to appreciate the incredible benefits that come from being in stillness, for into all the systems in the body. But it's who wants to really feel all of the emotions and thoughts and things that are going on. So one of the misunderstandings I think about meditation is that somehow we should feel when we go into meditation, when we try to, focus on our breath, that we should be, having some sort of success, or however we define that. We can follow the breath for so many breaths, or we feel peaceful, but it's not at all about that. It's really just about coming to a little more um, uh, well, I always use the word friendliness, kindness around whatever is arising, whatever the experience is. It's like you dive into the lake, and you can stay down there for a little bit into all of the stories of the mind and whatever's happening for the day. But then you have to pop up for some air to take a few breaths. And then of course you're going to end up going back down into the weeds. And that's all okay, because you're going to pop up and take a couple more breaths. And yeah. So as far as what we need today, it's a class that if you do have props and cushions, they're going to be helpful. Firmer cushions are better. I've got a few that I can grab for some supported poses. I like to have a flat towel or a blanket as well for knees, and to fold it up for a pose that we'll do later in the class, for something that can serve like a block or a book, but it's a little bit softer in the upper back. And you can improvise with whatever you've got. And if you'd like to use a chair for a little bit of sitting, if you don't prefer to be on the floor, that's totally great. And if you were here yesterday, we started standing up. And so I'm going to do something similar. So just if you're lying down, you don't feel like getting up, well, that's okay too. You can do a little bit of shaking and jiggling on the floor. But I'm going to start with just that, just kind of letting the knees wobble. And I'm keeping the entire foot on the floor, but I'm just jiggling. So letting body parts, maybe those ones that you don't care to show anybody that are bouncing, or how you feel that jiggling. And you can already start with just some lightheartedness to it as well, how that inner critic or the judge shows up pretty quickly. So we're just shaking and vibrating and loosening things up without using intentionally any muscles. And maybe you start to make that movement a little bit livelier, so the heels could lift up. My heels are just lifting a little bit. I'm not coming right off the floor, but having that little bit of air blowing underneath the heels. And I'm noticing that the breath is starting to fire up. You might feel some subtle changes in your body temperature as well. Loosening up the arms and the shoulders. Just keep going a little bit longer with that. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Breathing in through the nose. You can exhale just like you're fogging up a mirror. My front porch is a little cold, so you might see my breath. Just letting some things go here earlier in the day. Something you've been working on, something that's stuck up in the above the neck is coming down into the body. And let's slow that down. Pause for a moment here. Just feel yourself, the structure, the body coming to slow down, standing, knowing that you're standing, knowing that there are others in the space as well, also doing the same and maybe experiencing some of the same sensations, some tingling or temperature changes. Maybe noticing the activity of the mind or some of that, just the natural things start to rise back up, and that's okay. Let's start to swing out a little bit now. So stepping the feet further apart, just letting the arms wing out to the side. I like to lift one heel and then the other. And there's no way that this has to be. Just really loosen the shoulders. Can you let the arms be loose, or can they connect with your kidneys or your ribs, your lungs, the adrenal glands, and the back body? Maybe you can start to let the head, neck, and shoulders go as well. If you feel dizzy with this, you can just keep it to a smaller window of movement there, or take a few deeper breaths. And then let the arms come up higher and make little fists with your hands so they actually kind of give a bit of a oomph, massage, a bit of a pound to the lungs in the upper part of your thoracic spine, as well as this kind of karate chop action here. And slowly bring that to stop. Make little fists and do some tapping out, massaging in the lungs. And in your own space, maybe you can make some sounds. Stretch out the vocal cords a bit. And then even if you can reach into the upper neck there, pound out the shoulders a little bit. Maybe the shoulders are tight. It's hard to even reach there. Couple more of those, clearing out any congestion. So we're all about wanting to be able to be appreciating some clear breaths. Some people can't in this pandemic. So go for a couple of more. And then let that go. Your hands can dangle at your sides, so you can take them to your hips, and we'll do a few big circles there, just feeling into the hips. I'll just put my hands in my pockets here and be really relaxed. Just moving some of the peanut butter out of the edges of the jar. And it could be a circle, or you could figure 8 loop. And bending the knees and going in the other direction. Reaching the chest forward and then bringing the hips forward. You might feel out the front and back and the sides of the ribs, just exploring the shape. And then come back to pause in the middle. Bring your hands to your thighs. Start to sit into a little bit of a seat and let the tailbone reach back, the booty stick out there. And then pull the belly in as you start to round in the shoulders and come into that familiar bit of a crouch, keeping warm shape. And then go the opposite way, roll the shoulders back, press the thighs. You can use your thumbs in your hip creases to draw them. A little more space there, and then exhale, press and round. Inhale, press the thighs away. You can use your hands or your palms to get that extension, and then exhale, chin to chest. One more time, breathing in there. And exhale. And slowly roll it up. Loop the shoulders up and down the back a few times. And you can grab thumbs behind your back, or you have something else in your space. If your shoulders are tight, to hold on to something back there so that we can open up through the collarbones, through the front of the chest. Knit the ribs down. You can keep that little bend in the knees. Bend the knees even more deeply so you can bring your belly towards your thighs and take a fold over the legs. Keep the knees quite bent so your lower back contraction out, chin towards the chest. Let's reach the arms back and lift up the heart. And then exhale as you fold, chin to chest. Once more, breathe in. And fold, exhale. You can adjust your feet. Maybe they go a little wider apart. Bend the right knee. Let the left leg straighten out a little bit. Maybe the arms can dip towards the right. Crown of the head reaching towards the left. And then come back through center. Both knees bent. Start to let the left knee bend even with more depth so the right leg straightens out a little bit. Take the ribs, take the gaze over towards the right, arms to the left. One more time each side, right knee bends, left leg straightens just a little bit. Reaching the arms in the opposite direction, and then that pendulum the other way. Exhale, bend the knees, reach the arms back. Lift the heart once more. And then come all the way up. Release the arms. And just give the legs a shake and shake out the feet. Couple more of those to the sides, kick it off. And then you can come down to sit. I've got a chair here, so I might do that. If you prefer to sit on the ground, if that feels easy for you, you're okay in your back, that's fine. We're just going to do a little bit into the neck and shoulders. Let's start by rubbing the palms together and start to wake up all of the little molecules in the hands, the sensory receptors, feeling whatever it is that you feel is happening in the hands, in the temperature, and that bit of friction. And then just let the palms come apart just a little bit, and the elbows just be relaxed, the shoulders relaxed. Feel something going on between the hands. You can play with that. You can move the hands a little further apart or closer together, just to sort of tap into this connection of everything, or just that moving energy, things that we can't see that we can feel if we're awake. Let's rub the palms together again. And rest the palms just in front of the eyes so you can feel some of that energy or heat transfer, or maybe you don't feel anything at all. Just let the palms be above the eyes, so not placing them right on the eyes. And then one more time, rub the palms together. And then rest the palms in the lap, have them facing upwards. And you might close your eyes here, just notice the sensations that are in the palms for just as long as they do hold your attention. Not dissimilar to thinking. As soon as we have a thought and try to hold on to it, it's gone. Let's release the arms at the sides and do a few sun breaths. So reach the arms up. You can look up and then exhale, chin towards the chest, reach the palms away and down. Reach up, breathing in. And exhale, chin to chest. Once more, reach it up. And exhale, just bring the hands shoulder height and press the palms away so you feel some action, a wake-up call underneath the arms, the wrists, palms, fingertips, maybe something in the shoulders. One more breath there. And then flip the fingers towards the floor. Make a little fist. Press out through the backs of the arms now. Just seeing what it looks like. Reaching to walls on opposite sides. And then flip the palms up, just straight facing up. And then from the shoulders, flip the palms to face down, or they may go a little further, just depending on your shoulder girdle. So palms open. And then it's the armpits that are closing off. All of this is happening from this big shoulder girdle area. The ball and socket, the joint, the bone moving. The hands are just moving as a ripple effect of that. Breathing in. And breathing out. Let the hands come down to rest at your sides or in your lap. Let's take the right ear over towards the right shoulder. You like to reach the left fingers away or rest the left hand with the back of the hand facing in at the lower back. That feels good. You might add the weight of the right hand alongside the left ear for a few breaths. If there's nothing to see, just having the gaze down the tip of the nose or the eyes closed. Now and then just bringing awareness to some sensations of breathing. Or there could be some other things that are there for your attention. Could be sounds. Let's take the hand around to the back of the skull a little bit more as you drop the gaze over the right breast pocket and press the head back into the hand. And then release the right hand and take the tip of the nose over the right shoulder. Just open and close the mouth a few times here, or make some shapes and funny faces, wiggle your lips. You might feel a stretch even along the jaw, the side of the face. Unlocking the jaw, some of the clenching that some of us do overnight. And back through center. Drop the chin towards the chest. Come up just to have your chin level with the floor, and then go back to that right ear over to right shoulder. Now we'll take the left arm and reach it straight up. Feeling that length to come up and over. Your right hand can be pressing away from the floor or grab underneath the chair if you're sitting on a chair or on your couch. And take one more breath there. Come up and take the left arm forward and across. And now the right arm, give yourself a hug. Reaching the hands around tops of the shoulders or a little more around the rib cage, wherever you can reach to. Staying here, or go for an eagle shape where the forearms come a little closer together. You might have your fingers meet in some way. And then chin towards the chest, exhale. Lift the elbows, inhale. Exhale, chin to the chest. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhaling one more time. Lift the elbows and open up the arms and bring the fingertips to the tops of the shoulders. Do a few circles. It's like you have pencils on the ends of your elbows and you're making circles, tracing. Bring the elbows close together. They may not touch. And then stretch them towards the back. We've got a lot more going on this part, right? And then it's harder to have that enough of a stretch across the front body. Let's bring the fingertips to the back of the skull and lift it up a little bit. Squeeze the elbows towards the ears and then start to reach the elbows up and stretch your eyes up as well. Just support the back of the head. Keeping a little core containment so we don't get too far here into a big back arch. We're mostly just trying to get in under the scapula. And then chin to the chest. Let the weight of the hands just add a bit of traction to the back of the neck. And then release the arms there. And squeeze the shoulders to the ears. Breathing in and slowly exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, breathe in. Exhale, let the left ear drop over towards the left shoulder. Just try to line it up. The right arm can reach away, pressing the palm towards the floor. Or if you're like me, you can take that hand underneath your chair and pull a little bit. That feels nice just to use furniture, or maybe you've got a wall there. Can also rest the palm facing in at the lower back area, somewhere along there. See how that affects the stretch in this side of the neck. Breathing along that whole right side, neck, shoulder, arm. Can add the weight of the left hand. Keeping some awareness in the spine to stay with some buoyancy. Bring the left hand, if you've got it up there around the back of the skull, and just shift your chin slightly down and over towards the left, or wherever it might feel good in there. You could even move your head around a little bit just to find that. Another breath there. Still breathing, still here together. And release the hand, the left hand. Start to turn your gaze over top of the left shoulder now. Move your jaw around again, or make some of those funny faces. Opening and closing, or squishing the eyes towards the nose. You could stick the tongue out. Getting a stretch along the side of the face and jaw on the right, the ear. Slowly drop the chin down towards the chest, come back through center, and just look forward for a moment. Let's just go back, left ear, left shoulder. Can release the right arm now and reach the right arm straight up. And then over into the side. Stretch your left hand now, might press the ground away or hold the left side of the chair. Anchoring down through the right hip and thigh. One more breath into the gills on this right side, and then come up, breathing in. Bring the right arm forward and across. And then the left arm, left elbow underneath the right elbow, reaching the arms around behind. Seeing maybe if there's a different sort of a reach on this side. And you can stay here feeling the breath in the back of the lungs. Amazing how it comes up so high. We're not aware of the back body so much when we're always looking forward and outward and into the future. Just feel that breath, no rush. Hands may be comfortable here or the eagle arms. Chin towards the chest, take a little bow. Lift up, inhale. Elbows lift, gaze lifts, and then exhale. Back of the heart widens. Inhale. And exhale. Come up this time. Take the arms behind the back of the head again. Squeeze the elbows away from each other. You can do a few more of those circles if you like with the fingertips, or this kayak movement with the elbows dipping into the water. Get the ribs involved with that if you're doing. You can look from one side to the other, to the floor, and then to the ceiling. Or you can keep your eyes closed. Sometimes I get a little bit dizzy even doing this. Let's come up. And then squeeze the elbows towards the ears. Dropping the ribs towards the hips. At the same time as the elbows lift up, support the back of the head. So there's still lots of space there and you're not going to get very far. Stretching underneath the armpits a little. And then exhale, chin to chest, weight of the head. Release the arms. Do a few circles, big circles, loose circles, just kind of stirring it out in both ways. And now we can just shift from sitting. You can come on to, still going to be on your bum, but if you were cross-legged, just kick your legs out in front. And give them a shake. Just lean back, drum that out. Let your feet flop side to side. So really loose, more of that jiggling movement. Flesh, muscles, kind of shaking against the bones. Circulation. Good. Let's take the feet wide now and the knees apart. You might be sitting up on something. Not too high, but just dropping the knees over towards the left with the feet pretty wide apart. Press into your right shin. Your right hip will lift up. And then slowly bring the right knee up and take the left knee down. So the knees are traveling over towards the right. Press the left shin down as well. You feel quite a lot of space underneath your left hip. Let's do that again. So left knee lifts. If you need to have your legs closer together, then do that. Or just experiment here. Just doing one more wind chill side to side. Stretching out through that hip flexor psoas that gets so short from sitting or even from our workout activities. And then take the soles of the feet together. We did this yesterday. Let's come a little bit closer into not your tightest, we're not that warmed up, but a Baddha Konasana shape. And we'll take the right hand to the right inner thigh and press it away. Let the left knee lift up quite high now. My wrists get a bit tender, so I might use a left fist behind for support. And just work on using your hand to roll the muscles of that right inner thigh away from center. And then let that knee lift up. Let the left knee fall down now. So let the right knee come up quite high and roll the muscles of the left inner thigh away from center. These big thigh muscles, they're carrying us around. They're really really good friends. You might give that a bit of a massage. And then let your feet slide out longer. So you've got a diamond shape. You can adjust, you could put a couple of pillows underneath your thighs, or if you're a lucky one and you have a bolster at home, you could have your knees over the bolster and bring the fingertips behind the back. We opened up the shoulders a little bit just so this will have more ease. Walking the hands forward, scoop the belly and start to let the spine, let the head move in the direction of the feet. And if you do have more pillows in the space, I have something here that allows my ribs just to rest. Lots of different variations. You can place a firm pillow on your feet or your shins. Maybe the forehead can come down onto that. So just experiment. You can have your legs underneath the bed and be resting yourself on the bed like a shelf. And so as we start to move into incorporating some poses that have some time to them, it's like we've just jumped off the dock. We've done that cannonball into the depths, into the mind and the mental activity or the emotional tone. We're having a bit of softness around that. We're seeing what's going on. And there's lots of interesting things underneath the water. Lots to see. It's not all dark. You can be aware of thoughts moving past a little, like the seaweed or the fish or wildlife that are alive and well under there. Of course, you're going to pop back up to the surface pretty often to catch another breath. And then the dive back down again. Might feel like a distraction. We're doing something wrong. Totally isn't. This is the practice. Just to be present to the pleasant, the unpleasant, the neutral, the beauty, the dark and the light. You can use the anchor of breath, in, out. Or I like to use sound as well, picking up the sound being kind of like taking that breath, popping out of the water. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last inhale. And exhale. Start to bring yourself up and out. Moving any props out of the way. See what feels good right now. You can give your legs another shake out, windshield wiper, or the bent knee version. I'm going to come on to the back. Just have it, if you do have any props and pillows, have them somewhere where you can grab them. If you want a little something underneath your head, that's fine, but nothing that's too high. I'm just coming onto the back for the first time now, just feeling that. And let the legs start to float up and shake a little more. Feed the heart. Wiggle and jiggle it out. Might feel nice in the lower back to hug the knees in and then reach them up again. Give them a little shake and hug the knees and then reach them up. A little bit of a shake. And then hug the knees and let the hands come underneath the thighs or on top of the shins. Let the heels be really heavy. So let the heels traction. Down towards the sits bones. Your knees are wide. We'll rock over towards the right elbow. And slowly you'll feel your left seat lift up and then come back. Another pendulum swing, so over towards the left elbow. Just keep the tailbone pretty long, so your knees are quite away from your torso. Your arms might be straight or on the straighter side, so the tailbone can stay in that long, spacious channel. And as you breathe and you rock from side to side, the low back gets a massage in. And the communication centers between the spine and the brain are alive and well. Let's stretch the left leg long and bring the right knee in towards the chest. You can keep the right knee over to the right and take a few breaths over on that side, the ascending colon. So your left leg can be straight or you can have it bent. See what feels best in the low back. Let's switch the right knee side to side with some support behind the thigh or on top of the shin. Like you're ironing something out here a little bit. You don't have to pull that knee into your biggest grab. It's just feeling in the hip socket. And then let the right leg just float up loosely towards the ceiling. You can let the arms reach away. Loosely point the toes and start to do some little circles up there. Just feel some draw up from the sky to the leg, even as it stays connected through the back, right side of the body. And changing the direction of the circle. Just let your ankle be kind of loose. And then bring that knee in towards the chest and give it a squeeze. And then press the heel up towards the ceiling. You can use your hands or not behind your right hamstring. Let's do that a couple times. Squeeze it in and then press the gas to the ceiling. Familiar movement, but just feel what it is, what's happening in the back line of the leg for you today. Squeeze and then in the front hip. Reach the leg up and let it be up there. If you feel tenderness in the low back, bend the left leg again. And then circle out the ankle and go slow. Breathing in as you circle one way. And then switch the circle the other way, breathing out. Make a really good fist with the toes, so squeeze. And then spread the toes really wide, so you'll feel the stretch move from the shin, the ankle, as you make a fist with the toes. And then reach the heel up, spreading the toes.
Make a fist with the toes. So this is really good for the feet, the arches, whether it feels good or not. Stretching it out, and then again, the opposite direction, spreading the toes. Try to create as much space between the toes. If you have your socks off, you can be watching this. It's too cold on my porch. And then hug that thigh in again towards the chest. Let's take a full body stretch out. Lengthen the arms away from the legs. Feel that window of space appear underneath the lower back. Breathing in there. Walk the heels over to the left. Shift the head and shoulders to the left as well. You can hook the thumbs there or catch opposite elbows to frame the head. Just try to soften what you can once you get into this shape. And that could include the face, the legs, the feet. There may be some body parts that are still kind of engaged and wanting to work. You can dangle the right leg over the left leg if you want to experiment with that. Nod the chin down towards the chest, and then just breathe here. Just returning to breath or to sound. As often as you notice the mind is hooked onto the bait of whatever is the story of the moment, planning something for later, or wondering, feeling some boredom or restlessness. It's perfect. Just feeling all of that and then taking another breath. Take it back through center, stretch out again. We'll bring the right knee towards the chest and squeeze. And then take your left hand to the outer right thigh. Open up your right arm and bring the right knee over towards the left. Just have our little ring out. Come back to center with the right knee, and then use your left hand again to bring the right knee towards the left. You might have a pillow or something over on the left side waiting for you there. We'll do this a few more times. So if you need to grab something so that eventually you'll be perhaps able to rest your right shin onto something. Or you can have both knees once we get into the supine twist. Let's wring out the cloth one more time. Exhale. Shift your weight so that you're more with your left hip on the bottom. And then resting your right shin onto something or a couple of pillows if you can. Just let the chest open up towards the ceiling. You might move the left ribs, all of these mindful movements so that you can get into a comfy spot. And you might decide, oh, I need both knees bent with something underneath the knees or between the knees. And it might be different on the day. So get yourself set up really nice, including a blanket if you're feeling chilly. And so the more ease that we can give to our bodies, the more the breath can weave through, perform those miracles, those automatic functions, get into the spaces that are more accessible here. Of course, the mind will wander, will go back down into the depths. And over time, there's lots of space for the mind to hold or see all the pictures and colors and the activity, creativity. More than more than just fear and anxiety, moments of ease, however brief, or joy. Or the occasional open sky glimpse of the sunlight. Having some friendliness when there is a lot of agitation. The anchors of sound and breath are yours to employ. Sometimes having a mantra is something simple, in, out, or a word that brings you some comfort. To harness the attention back to the flagpole. Let's take 5 breaths here. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly start to unwind from the pose. Bring your legs back to center. Come onto your back. And just lie down and maybe feel. One side of the body feels different, shorter, or out of balance. One side a little heavier. And windshield wiper or shake. Kick the legs. Let's bring the feet to the floor. Before we go to the other side, walk the fingers down towards the heels and drop the low back. And then press the hips up into a bridge pose. Take a breath in. And then ripple and roll it all the way back down. Breathe in again at the bottom. Press the low back, the ribs to the floor, and then lift the hips. Breathing in at the top, pause. Exhale, roll back down, articulate the spine. Breathe in one more time. Feel the breeze underneath the low back, and then exhale, press down. Lift up, inhale at the top and pause. Exhale to float back down. So let's do the second side. Bring the left knee in towards the chest. And then reach the left heel up to the ceiling. Bring the left knee in towards the chest. Press the left heel up towards the ceiling. Your right leg can be bent. For lower back is more ease, or you can straighten it out. Reach that up. Once more. As the knee is in, let's do those few swipes. So we missed that. I missed that. Just moving the thigh bone from side to side, or little circles. Those movements can be small, or you can rock across the back a little more. Good, and then let's reach that leg up again. So just let go of it. Let the toes feel a little bit of an attraction towards the ceiling. So the ankle is just loose, so you're not flexing that heel up. The leg does some circling up there. Let's start small. You might write your name on the ceiling. Are you left or right-footed for writing your name? Or little half circles. We're just moving the thigh bone, the femur bone. Good. So you can hold the leg again. If you need to take a break, hug it back in. You let your hands be there for support, or you can use a scarf or a strap. And then just circle out the ankle a few times. And you might be aware of that one foot has a little more stiffness than the other. If you've got your socks off, you'll notice differences between the feet just in the way they look. So let's do that fist with the toes. And then flex the heel up and spread the toes really wide. Really try to get maximum space between the toes, cooperative or not. Make a fist. And then spread the toes. You can feel that stretch in the back line of the leg. And then as you make that fist through the front of the foot, ankle. Good, and then hug that knee in, exhale. Let the right leg lengthen out. It can just be relaxed. Use your right hand on your outer left thigh to move your knee over towards the right. And then back to center. Bring it out to center the digestive organs, some of the leftover baggage that's still in the body. Just moving things in and out with a few more of those moving, rocking. And then we'll come into the twist, so you can have a pillow over to the right side of your mat. You can place your shin, you can be a little more onto your right side as you do that, adjust. Or bend both knees if that's better. And then start to adjust as well. The right side of the rib cage moves a little more to the right, the chest towards the ceiling. The left arm might be low down by the hip, or you might be able to reach it to the side or even up and back. It just depends. Just finding a spot where you can feel some ease. Bringing back in a blanket if warmth is what you need right now. Giving permission for it all to be here, to bob in and out of the waves of it all. Sound, smell, visual field, awareness of thinking. Nothing wrong, nothing to do or fix. Feelings of restlessness, boredom, anticipation, impatience, ease, joy, whatever it is. Lots of space for it all. Let's take 5 more breaths on this side. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Starting to exit the pose as you come onto your back. Do any movements that you wish to there. Another knee squeeze or another bridge. And take the legs up in the air and open up. Hold your inner thighs. Just taking an inversion for a moment. Any shape with the legs. They could also be bent. And you could also put a pillow underneath. Something underneath the hips. We'll add some ease for that. Letting some blood drain back to the heart. So any shape with the legs apart or together, or with a soft bend at the knees. And we're moving into final rest. So this might be it for you. You might feel nice, especially if you're going to be on your feet or sitting a lot. Come from that, or know that you're going to that later. If you feel like a little bit of a heart opening, then having something between your shoulder blades. Got that blanket that I've just rolled up a little bit, my flat blanket. A pillow underneath my thighs. The flat blanket between my shoulder blades, so that the seat is going to go right in the middle. Maybe a pillow for the head as well, so you've got a babbling brook. Lining things up. Wherever you are, letting it all go. Rest and digest for these last few moments, or for as long as you like. Legs heavy. Aware of ground. Aware of body, breathing, lungs, just doing what they do. Softening the area between the eyebrows, tip of the nose, jaw. In, out. If you wish to let this be your exit and stay for a longer time, resting. There's no need to have to sit up or come back to the screen. If you're ready to close your practice, start to make some small movements in the fingers and toes. Open the jaw really wide. And take a stretch if you feel like that. You can blink open your eyes and be aware of your surroundings and any props that you might have. Bringing your legs down if they were elevated. Rolling to one side. Using your free hand to press up to take a seat. Coming back into the room and into the awareness of other bodies. Sharing the space and having similar experience, events and emotions and thoughts and all of the storms. Taking a moment here to nod towards yourself in gratitude and for the courage to show up
and to each other for sharing the space this morning. May we be safe. May we be well. May we be happy. Namaste. I'll just crawl towards the screen and turn off the recording. Thanks, Jennifer.